This is a fictional mindbender. Science fiction can cover a wide array of perspectives and scenarios, and the most popular, arguably, is the utopian vision offered by the Star Trek franchise. Since the 1960s, when the OG series first appeared, Star Trek's depiction of a humanity that had overcome its issues and attained travel to the stars was seen as a beacon of hope to its fans who were drowning in the misery of constant news of the Vietnam War and the wars in the Middle East, and an American society that was close to falling apart completely. And even when it didn't somehow, it was still irrevocably changed forever from what it was before. During an interview done by Star Trek alumni Whoopi Goldberg with Patrick Stewart, Jonathan Frakes, William Shatner, and Leonard Nimoy, Stewart recounted the tale of a fan letter from a Las Vegas cop about how he used Star Trek The Next Generation to help him get through many dark crimes, as well as Shatner, who recounted his own story about how the original series inspired an entire generation of astronomers and scientists to further space exploration and technologies. The impact Star Trek has had on not just culture but the sci-fi genre overall cannot be overstated, and I would argue was just as important to its genre as Tolkien's Lord of the Rings was to the fantasy genre. While not every sci-fi series that has come out since then shows a rosy picture of the future, as Star Trek's United Federation of Planets does, that is until Deep Space Nine of course, they mostly still showed a humanity that did survive to reach the far-flung edges of the galaxy at the very least. So basically, on some level, we still made it, even if we carried some of our bullshit with us. Even with the genre taking on an edgier turn in recent years, if the success of the various streaming shows of the Star Trek franchise have proven anything, it's that the optimistic view of the future still holds a place in the cultural psyche. Now, from this point on, I must warn that there may be some light spoilers ahead, so consider yourself warned. There is a recent streaming show that I think is providing a strong counterpoint to this long-lived view, however, in the same way that Game of Thrones was seen when it was paired against Lord of the Rings. The Three-Body Problem, part of a trilogy of books known as The Remembrance of Earth's Past, was written by Chinese author Liu Cixin, and I hope I pronounced that correctly, and they were written between 2006 and 2010. They were adapted twice to film and TV since 2015, with the second one being recently this year on Netflix, and which is what I'm primarily referring to. The success of this show has put a spotlight on the premise of the novels about how humanity will cope with an imminent alien invasion in 400 years, thanks to the betrayal of one of their own, an embittered and incredibly wrong Chinese scientist named Ye Wenji. And just this beginning alone should shed some light on the perspective of the series going forward. Without going much into detail, the novels, and presumably the shows, revolves around the Fermi paradox and game theory. That essentially, when you put the two together, that it's nearly improbable that humans cannot be the only advanced species in the universe that has reached the stars and is able to communicate with other races. But where are they? And why does space seem to be as dead as it is dark and silent? And perhaps it's because they're trying not to be seen. The series takes this view that rather than being an extreme coincidence, the universal silence is on purpose, with the species that are advanced enough to reach the stars also being smart enough not to announce it. And that this hostility is inevitable because, as vast as the universe is, it still encounters the same problems as the many galaxies, worlds, and stars that inhabited it do. That is, limited resources. The show is just starting to delve into this, I think, but if it follows the books, then we the viewers will find that this is not going to lead to an optimistic future like it does in Star Trek. Star Trek likes to show humanity at its best, even if it happens to struggle along the way. However, the three-body problem is going to flip that premise on its head and take it to a very dark place that not even the universe itself can escape. And humanity is going to be making a series of catastrophic choices because of these two universal laws. The three-body problem is going to be the antagonistic opposite of Star Trek, I think. And it's going to be interesting to see how people react to that. Because, for Western society at least, we like, or maybe even need, something to hope for and believe in. Doesn't necessarily have to be God or anything like that, but still something. Something that inspires us. Something that makes us want to move to something more, something better. Something that makes life worth living and that the sacrifices we make in it worthwhile. And if this premise that I am proposing turns out to be correct in the next few seasons, assuming Netflix is smart enough to do that, then it's really going to push the expectations of its fan base to its limits, I think, in terms of just how should we see the future of humanity. But otherwise, let me know what you think below. This is the Fictional Mindbender. You guys have a good day.